Well, I'm Cullen Haynes, and welcome to LawLive, episode 82 on Live with Cullen Haynes. Feel free to give us a cheeky like, 5-star, and make sure you subscribe and listen to wherever you get your podcast. My next guest is an absolute legend in the family law space, 23 years making a substantial difference to families all over Australia, has a team of 13, and we're going to be talking all things well-being, wisdom, and the weight of family law. So could you please make very welcome to the stage my dear friend, the one, the only, Mr. Michael Seton, the Principal Director of Seton Family Lawyers. Welcome, Michael. Good to see you, sir.
You too, Cullen. Great to be here.
Great to have you on, mate. And everyone's asking, what is happening in your circle of influence at the moment? Give us the blow-by-blow. What's happening?
Absolutely. A lot happening in the world right now. As we know, kids are back at school. Coaching the kids' sports teams back in full swing. Wife and I are trying to regain that match fitness for weekly routine and drop-offs that you lose over the break, and currently training for the Sydney Marathon, which is a bit of a load. But, of course, we also have our very, very busy practice here.
Oh, absolutely, my friend. You got so many things. You got so many hats that you wear. For anyone in the professional world with families working, I guess what's one tip that you find helpful for yourself to try and manage it all? My goodness.
Have a good co-pilot. I dare say that the House of Cards would come tumbling down if it wasn't for the amazing work of my wife, and also sort of, I guess, the teamwork that on any given day we move in and out of. So, yeah, if you want to go fast, go yourself. If you want to go far, go together.
I love that. And shout out to Kayla Seton as well. Now, if you had to describe your life using just film titles, movie titles, or otherwise, how do you think you'd go about doing that, Michael?
I gave it a little bit of thought this morning, Cullen, and I can say it was far more revealing than I'd hoped it would be. I went with The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Look Who's Talking, A Few Good Men, Beauty and the Beast, and Daddy Daycare, with an honourable mention for Coach Carter.
Oh, I love that. All classic movies. Is there a favourite one that you have in that list?
It's got to be A Few Good Men. I seem to have a weird fascination with Tom Cruise. Back in the day, I wanted to be a fighter pilot, and then when that didn't work, I wanted to be a lawyer, and it was Top Gun into A Few Good Men. So I think that would have to be the favourite.
Very, very good. Is it You Can't Handle the Truth? Is that Jack Nicholson? That quote in there?
The one. Iconic. Still waiting for the day I get to say it in court.
So, okay, you say it's not all objection and all those little missives that happen. That courtroom theatre is probably not existent in family law, would you say?
Sadly not. Hollywood has a lot to explain for itself, given the expectations some of us in litigation have been sad to learn as we went through our professional journey.
Oh, absolutely. And if you are watching, please, we are streaming live. This is happening at 12:15, Wednesday, 11th of February. So please put your questions, queries, comments in the chat box. We're on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, X, and TikTok as well. So put it in there, please. And I'm sure this is on the educational version of TikTok as well. So please put your comments in there. Now, you have a psychology background, and how has that shaped the way you practice law and the way you approach and lead your firm? Because we're also talking about leadership as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question, Cullen. I majored in child development psychology and abnormal psychology. So I think particularly in the family law space, it's definitely made me appreciate the social science that is so immersed and intertwined with this jurisdiction, probably more than I otherwise would have. I'm someone who probably thrives in systems and the ones and zeros. So having that in-depth exposure to the often, I describe it as softer and more nuanced sciences with less black and white, has certainly made me a better lawyer, and I would hope a better leader. And of course, the psychology behind negotiation is just a fascinating topic that still to this day entertains me.
No, it's such an important skill to have, and I know there's articles in the Lawyers Weekly that says, and they try and put lawyers under fire to say lawyers just inflame the situation in family law. And I think based on your conversations and the way you negotiate and things, you're very much trying to de-escalate things rather than escalate things in the way you approach things. Surely.
Yeah, certainly. There's always the time and place that you need to go in and fight the good fight in a litigated setting, whether it's interlocutory or final trial arrangement. But by and large, I think we see the majority of matters resolve well before that, and it often takes well-informed, well-educated, thoughtful, both intelligent and emotionally intelligent lawyers to get the job done in guiding their clients to solutions.
Absolutely. And you've received some numerous awards there, Michael, like Family Law Partner of the Year, Wellbeing Champion of the Year, Mentor of the Year. What do those personally mean to you?
Look, I think it means we're doing something right. To be recognised is always encouraging. Kayla and I put a lot of time, thought, effort, and resources and money into our approach to leadership, mentorship, fulfillment, personal accountability, and life balance. Particularly Kayla, she has a vastly higher emotional intelligence than me, so it does a lot of the heavy lifting there. But sometimes you can get caught in the echo chamber, convincing yourselves that what you're doing is right, and sometimes maybe being a bit silent to outside noise. So it's really helpful to have those external assessments that give us a little bit of a tick that we're on the right track. But from our perspective, the awards are nice, but there's still so much more to do. And ultimately, our hope is that what we're doing becomes so standard across the legal profession and other professions that it's just entirely unremarkable as opposed to award winning. So still much to do, but a nice little reminder that we're heading in the right direction.
No, I'm indeed by what you're saying. And I think the message I think people should be getting is don't work for accolades and whatnot, but do meaningful work that just comes as a symptom of it, I guess. Like that comes from doing the meaningful work, if that makes sense. So
yeah, byproduct, absolutely.
The byproduct. Well done. And if we can talk about this, obviously a personal experience for you that you shared online and with myself, you know, you recently navigated surrogacy and advocacy with Kayla, and I'd love to get your thoughts on how that experience went, how has it shaped your life now, and how does it shape your approach in business and working in family law?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's an incredible process. It's like so many things in life. No one can probably really tell you enough to prepare yourself for it. But from our perspective, we've always sort of had four mantras in our household. One is if you have more, build bigger tables, not bigger fences. That comes from Kayla's family. Mine,
Amazing.
particularly from my grandmother, was those who can must. We've always said between us, families are made of love, not blood. And probably the overarching one that's for our household, we try and teach our kids, we teach our team, is integrity always, that our words must always be consistent with actions. So going through the surrogacy process with the intended parents, with our families, with their families, with our friends, with our community, really, I think just consolidated and strengthened those views and values and provided an amazing learning experience on so many levels, particularly for our kids. And when I was reflecting on this, if I use a compass as the metaphor, I don't think the compass needle moved at all. I think it's still pointing the same north it was before, but the strength of the magnetic force probably increased. And so hopefully, I guess the ambition was to provide a beautiful, healthy baby to two parents who will just welcome her with open arms and provide just the most loving and amazing life ahead of her. But hopefully it's also, shown our kids and our team and those around us in our community that families do come in all shapes and sizes, that there is great joy that comes in kindness and sharing, and ultimately leaders lead. Doesn't matter about titles, it doesn't matter about roles or responsibilities, just anyone can set the example with their actions. And look, ultimately, we're really excited about the current ALRC review into Australian surrogacy laws and our advocacy in that space to improve accessibility and improve the ability for more families to enjoy that journey will continue.
No, it's absolutely a beautiful thing that you've done. And would you, knowing what you know now, any advice for those looking to get into this journey on either side of the experience?
Yeah, absolutely. Get the right people around you early. We were really lucky to have some great lawyers in our corner. We had some great psychological professionals in our corner. We had some great medical professionals in our corner. everything is, around this idea. I keep saying, if you want to go fast, go yourself. If you want to go far, go together. There were so many people involved from start to finish, and it's not easy. I had to become an expert in how to deliver needles to my wife every morning for a good number of weeks.
Wow.
That's not a fun skill to learn in the setting, but ultimately it's, no matter what the ups and downs, you can get through it all and have an amazing outcome at the end when you do go together and have that team around you.
It's absolutely incredible what you've done. And thank you so much for you and Kayla sharing it. It's absolutely beautiful. And
Pleasure.
in terms of obviously with those kind of experiences with life in general, we all experiences the tough days, right? Things where things don't go our way and whatnot. What would you say is one way you help cope with that or unwind or rest after a particularly challenging day?
Yeah, run. Just
Right.
run.
Yeah.
I know you sort of share this passion, Cullen, but moving my body in sort of any way has always helped me to regulate and reset and get some perspective, and sometimes even just process things or just blank out. But running in particular has always been the probably most helpful thing since I was very, very young. And I know if Kayla can see I'm struggling at home, one of the first things she'll suggest is, hey, why don't you just go for a run? So that's definitely number one. That's the apex of the unwinding and wellbeing pyramid in my life.
No, I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I do that, and I also try and say, how else can I help? I'm going to bring the kids with me, and we all go together. I get a run, I get out with the boys on the pram, and Madam gets a break. I think that's a great thing, and when you have a good co-pilot, is what you're talking about. You give each other those breaks. And it reminded me of something. I think was it Brene Brown? I think it was Brene Brown that said one of the most important questions you can ask your partner when you get home is obviously how's your day, but also what's your energy? How are you? And if they say I'm at 20%, you say I've got the other 80% covered, right?
Absolutely, and being willing to step into the void.
Yeah, it's so true. It's not uncommon. I get home and it's like here, and I grab the baby. It's like okay, and then take the thing off. You're gone. So if you think when you start a family, you're going to be able to work when you get home, that is definitely not going to happen. You're going to be working in different ways. That's for sure.
So I was about to say the exact same thing. If you had your best laid plans for the afternoon, just turf them out and just roll your sleeves up and get into it.
Yeah. And what's one surprising skill? Obviously, you said you were a coach, and I want to know what sports you coach and what you're doing. But would you say that's the most surprising skill outside of law that's helped you thrive in your career?
Funnily enough, I think it is. Over since I was a teenager and upwards, I've coached tennis, cricket, snowboarding, soccer, OzTag, and a few other things. And it's been particularly with kids, because kids are great and adults can be a bit of a punish at times. So just getting wrapped up in their energy and their enthusiasm and their ability to bounce back, it's just infectious. So one, it's something I still to this day love to do, but two, it's definitely an unexpected skill that's helped me thrive in my professional space, because it teaches you so many things. It teaches you patience. It teaches you creative problem solving. It teaches you patience. It teaches you childlike curiosity, and probably above all else, it teaches you patience. So it's definitely been a nice arrow to have in the quiver, that's for sure.
Of course. And I want to maybe unpack that a little bit more in terms of, throwing yourself into those side hustles and things that light you up. Are there any special passion projects or advocacy initiatives that you're working on or excited about for 2026 and beyond?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you know, Cullen, like wellness and mental health and the balance of life is something that's been a focus for us for a while, since I had my own experiences with teetering on the edge of burnout. And we have our Ironbark initiative, which we've had in place for a couple of years now, and that continues to grow, and that incorporates for our team self-care and community connection components to essentially help us achieve a balance that counteracts the stresses that come with family law practice. But we also have another little project called Scribbly Gum Scholars that we're working on. So watch this space. Hopefully that starts to take a bit more form and shape over the year ahead. And Colin, I think we might have spoken this before. You might have noticed that all our projects have names that derive from our firm logo, the eucalyptus leaf. So we have the ironbark, we have the scribbly gum, we have all those sorts of things. And, that comes from our fever for the idea of regenerating, that no matter what we do in life, we will come across adversity, we will be knocked down, and it's not just about bouncing back to be what we once were, it's bouncing back being stronger. The old eucalypt emerging from the bushfire is the beautiful picturesque metaphor. But yeah, that's the space that's really driving us at the moment, and equally not just professionally, but also in our other community groups we're involved in.
No, that's an incredible background on those initiatives, and I love the logo idea and that phoenix rising, right? Like you're stronger than you think, and you're able to endure much more than you know. And I'm just surprised you're able to fit all this into one day, 1 week, 1 year, 1 month. It's just amazing, there, Michael.
Yeah, look, it's an ongoing battle, and look, as we know, it's finding that balance, right, between, we've only got so many minutes in a day. What's going to be sacrificed? Is it going to be sleep? Is it going to be mental health? Is it going to be physical health? Is it going to be family responsibilities? Is it going to be work responsibilities? And yeah, it's an ongoing struggle. If anyone out there has the miracle elixir, please by all means send me a package.
Well, perhaps maybe there's something coming down the pipe, and I'd love to ask you, in the next 10 years, where do you see, like, especially the mental health, the leadership space, and the law space in the next 10 years, would you say, with this advent of AI and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I see us being in a better place than we are now.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what that might look like. It's definitely better. If I take the wellness and mental health space,
yes,
I used to say, I hope we'll be in a better place. I now say we will be, because there are some incredibly intelligent and creative people with amazingly diverse backgrounds and skills that are working really hard in this space. And we are seeing the pendulum move. Like a simple example in the legal space, we now have a full-time wellness manager and wellness team within the employment of the Law Society of New South Wales. That's a dramatically positive step from where we once were, and it's indicative that the resources and everything that we have available to us as a profession is being directed in that space. And from what I'm seeing anecdotally, of course, the profession at large is responding. Now, as I said earlier, we certainly have a long way to go.
yes.
But as the saying always goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. We're getting there. The question is, as you say, these emerging technologies, what they're going to do. The fear that I have in this space is that AI starts to be a quick fix, a band-aid, a short-term dopamine hit at our long-term expense. When I hear stories of people diagnosing themselves using ChatGPT, as a therapist, who will always, because of its programming, agree that you were in that situation. I have great concern about what the bounce back effect will be for mental health if they're the services that we're going to be relying on, which seems to be a realistic proposition.
No, and I want to challenge everyone out there, because I see it invaginate everything. Like, I want to write, for instance, the other day I was just writing just like it's just something for me personally in a Word document, just like a journal piece. And then it came in and said, do you want AI to correct this? And it's like, no, these are I probably should be writing down in a book, really, but it's just examples like that it wants to enhance and change everything. And I went to a few talks in WA, the long table lunch, and there was a guy talking about AI, and it says it doesn't replicate the human interaction, it just mimics. So it's only going so far. So, and I saw a nice video from, I think it was Ethan Hawke. He was at the theater and he said, what do you think about AI? He goes, I love people. I love seeing them. I love hearing them. I don't think it's ever going to replace them. We should use it, yes, but it shouldn't be the be all and end all. And I do get worried when I see people with their work and then ChatGPT open all the time, because it's like, so in some ways we're removing the thinking element and maybe the empathy and the heart as well.
Absolutely. And it can't replicate true creativity and inspiration, right? So it's drawing on a quantifiable, known pool of data. Now, granted, it's an enormous pool, but that's
Yes.
what it's drawing on. It doesn't have the ability to replicate that spontaneous thought, that new idea that can lead us down goodness knows what other spaces, whether it's in artistic spaces, scientific spaces, or relational spaces, all of these things that can be explored by humans. The line I use with my team when it comes to AI in practice is it's there to augment your skills, not replace them. You still have to do the lawyering. And I think that applies more broadly to life and how we use it. So, we'll see. we'll look back in 10 years' time and see how.
Yeah, let's go back. Obviously, this is the internet is forever, so let's see how if we're proved right. But there is a good show. You've probably seen it. Anyone else who wants to watch it, Black Mirror, and it talks about technology. There's an episode called Be Right Back where I won't give it away, but someone passes away and they use AI and things to bring that person back via emails, audio, and then in person. And you'll notice how it's not the real person. So definitely give it a go. Be Right Back. Switching gears a little bit, what's the most unusual or memorable client experience that you're able to share anonymously that you've ever received in your 23 years in being in law that sticks out to mind right now, Michael?
The unusual bit is a bit hard to sort of narrow down, but the memorable one, I have this one case that will seemingly forever stick in my mind. I ran a trial as a solicitor advocate against very, very experienced counsel on the sole question of who got Molly, the dog. Now, I've anonymized this. Molly is not the name of the dog, so don't worry about anyone.
Do not try and search Molly versus anyone,
That's right. And this was before the latest round of amendments that came into effect for the Family Law Act last year that specifically provide a new framework for considering companion animals following the breakdown of a relationship. So we were working in the existing property framework at the time, which was efficient with respect to our wonderful companion animals. And now the trial was listed for 3 days. We all showed up. We negotiated on the first morning, as often happens in this space. And we settled every single property issue except one, and that was Molly. So we came back on day 2 and we ran the remainder of the trial, including cross-examination, lengthy submissions, the whole box and dice on this single question. And ultimately we were successful and Molly got to go home with my client and her children. But funnily enough, I still reflect on it to this day that I think the judge actually got the decision wrong legally. I think it was absolutely an appellable decision, because if you treated Molly as a chattel, which you were required to do at the time, and applied the applicable property legislation and case law, I think Molly definitely should have gone home with the husband. But I think Her Honour made the correct, shall I call it, the moral decision. And interestingly, I'm very, very confident that if you ran the same case under the new framework that's come into place to give special consideration to companion animals, I'm really confident that we would have actually got the same outcome, which is, that's probably a good sign that we have legislative framework that is recognising these wonderful companions in our life in a way that gets us to the right moral decision.
No, what endears me about what you're saying is you seem to get very excited, and I can feel the energy every matter that you work with your clients. You're obviously living the experience with them, and obviously that was an important part of their lives, and you got the right outcome. And yeah, well done for that, because I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there. It's a dog. What difference could it make to a family? But those with animals know that it makes a significant difference, especially with children,
particularly for the kids.
Absolutely. And we all know that, we can't do this on our own. We stand on the shoulders of giants, as they say. So who has been an influential mentor for Mr. Michael Seton in your life? And what lessons stick out the most?
Yeah, look, I've been lucky enough to have some amazing mentors in my life who have taught me things that are literally central to what I do professionally every single day. But I might be a bit of a cliche. I'm going to go back to it and say it's Kayla. She's the one who's taught me the most. I am immeasurably better person today than I would have been because of her influence. It's a day-to-day influence. It's always with kindness and humility, and often from the passenger seat. She's quite happy to sit back and let people thrive in front of her. And the number one lesson to answer that part of your question, I think, is probably breathe. Everything will be okay. And taking that moment to pause and be responsive rather than reactive. I think that would be the number one.
Beautiful. And Kayla, if you're listening or in the room, shout out to you. You mean all the more to this, man. It's a lovely sentiment. I think more people should put their partners on pedestals like your good self there, Michael. It would serve them well for life, I must say.
Certainly does.
And maybe this is going into a different realm and we might go down a rabbit hole, but I want to open this can of worms. If you could change one thing about the law or legal culture, what would it be?
Easy. More dogs.
Get them in office. There you go.
I love the court dog program that's rolling out in increasing form in the family law jurisdiction. Everything is better with dogs. We have our wellness manager, George, who's running around out there. Now, he's some sort of fancy breed of Labradoodle I can never remember the name of. But, when he comes into the office, he makes everyone's day better. The staff, clients, children that our ICL in-house has to meet with, delivery people, people just walking past and see this happy little dog wagging their tail as they go past. Everyone. So more dogs.
More dogs.
Life stressful. Everyone's happy. More dogs.
You heard it here first. We need more dogs out there. Come on. I love that. I've actually got a Labradoodle called Alfie, a crackerjack Labradoodle. Maybe they're distant cousins. Who knows?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we get a lot of younger generation lawyers and professionals watching this show and listening, of course. So what would be the lesson you'd like to pass on to the younger generations, Gen Z and beyond?
Yeah, look, I'm going to steal a slogan from my very good friend, Laura Prail, who's a amazingly talented digital marketer in our local area. And the slogan is begin anywhere. You'll never be 100% ready. Things will never be 100% perfect. You won't know with 100% certainty that things will go right, or even if you're heading in the right direction, but just start. Throw yourself into the things that interest you. And it's that old adage of failing forward fast. It's all about the journey and it's all growth anyway. So just dive in. If it doesn't work, that's okay. You'll learn. And as I said, breathe. Everything will be okay.
What is it? Everything will be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end.
It's not the end. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very, very good. Yes, your marketing friend is a wise person. I think subscribes to Seth Godin's analogy, just start things. And I think that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when one day when you shuffle off this mortal coil, Michael, not to sound morbid, but how would you like to be remembered one day, my friend?
Yeah, I reflected on this, Cullen, and it was interesting that I just gravitated straight to 4 comments and didn't move. So I'm hoping that means something. I'd like to be remembered as someone who showed up.
Yes.
As someone who left nothing in the tank. Yes. As someone who led from the front, and someone you'd follow into the trenches. If I can get a couple of them, ideally 4, on that day as being mentioned from how people remember me, I'll consider that a ticker box. I'm happy with that.
Well, the thing is, I know from our year or two of knowing you and what you've talked about today, I think you're already doing that. So absolutely amazing. There'd be a standing ovation, I'm sure, in the auditorium.
Very
and where can people find you, Michael? Where are you hanging out the most? Someone wants to reach out. What's the best way to find out about Seton Family Lawyers and your good self?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a boutique family law firm situated on the central coast of New South Wales. It's about an hour north of Sydney. We have the website, we have the socials. I'm on all the socials, all the places, all the things. I'm told I'm a pretty good responder to people who reach out. I'm always keen to have a chat and meet new people, understand where they've come from in life, and learn from each other. So yeah, if you've got the LinkedIns, if you've got the Facebooks, if you've got the TikToks, if you've got the Instagrams, by all means, you'll find me there. Seton. That's always a common mistake. You'll find me there. I'll be happy to connect.
Very, very good. Well, really appreciate you being on the show there, Michael. It's absolutely been illuminating, to say the least. We'll bring you back on for some bonus questions, but thank you once again, sir. It's been appreciated.
Amazing, Cullen. Appreciate it. It's been great to be here with you.
Good man. And if you are a legend of law or know someone who is and you want to be on the Legend of Law, LawLive, or our Ledger Legends for Accountants, or our General Live with Cullen Haynes show, you think you've got what it takes, reach out to me. We're booked out until August, September. Maybe we got some space at the end of the year. Come out Wednesday, every Wednesday, talking to a different legend. And thank you for giving us a cheeky like, subscribe. We come out wherever you get your podcasts. Bye for now, everyone. Make it count and take care. Bringing you back, Michael, got some bonus questions for you. Obviously, children are probably some of the biggest components of family law matters. Child walks up to you and says, "What do you do in the firm?" Like, what can they expect you to be your answer to make it as simple as possible? What does Seton family lawyers actually do?
Yeah, of course. It'd probably be the same way we've always described what Dad does to our kids. And what we say is, Dad talks to a really important person called a judge and helps people who are maybe a little bit unsure about what to do next in their life to make really, really good decisions for them and their kids. And that's how we describe it. And I think that's probably a good way of simplifying our role down.
No, I think that's amazing. How would your own children describe you? Are you the dance dad, the coach dad? Like, what would they say in the Seton household?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's definitely as the dance dad rather than the lawyer dad. There's no question about that. You only need to look at my diary any given week, and my entire professional life is organised around their school and extracurricular schedule. And look, I love what I do. Don't get me wrong, I'm one of those really lucky people who fell into something that they've loved since day dot, and hopefully will continue. But it's not my identity. A lawyer probably was part of my identity when I was younger. It was probably important in that regard. But now my identity within our sort of circle is I'm Holly's dad, or I'm Coach Mike, or from a recent holiday with other families that we went on overseas last year, it's Fun Mike, which I thought, I'm getting a T-shirt that says that. That's amazing. So yeah, look, only 2 out of our 3 kids know what I actually do, and that I'm a lawyer, and that means that sometimes I have to leave a bit early or get home a bit late. But in their mind, that's the side hustle. So if it means I have to learn to tie a perfect ballet bun, or to learn the difference between a plie and a penché, I say bring it on. I'm happy to be known as the dance dad.
There you go. And Netflix, if you're watching, we talked about Coach Carter, maybe a cheeky special on Coach Mike. I reckon I'd watch that for sure.
You can probably play me, Cullen. It'd be good.
Oh, that'd be good. Please. Netflix, Stan, binge, if you're watching, please. We'd be honored to it. I think this last one, I think it's such a great question. So if you could go back in time and give the young Michael Seton advice at any age, when would you go and visit yourself, and what would the advice be you'd give yourself?
Yeah, I'd probably go back to when I was in probably my mid to late 20s, and I'd tell myself, instead of doing absolutely everything and getting probably B's across the board, work out what's most important, do those things, so do less and get A's across the board. Then I would probably fast forward and tell myself the same advice tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that, because I think it's something that I know a lot of people that I know can get caught up in as well, but it's a particular toxic trait of mine that I just want to say yes to things, and I want to dive into things and give it everything. But as they say, you can do it all, just not at the same time. So yeah, focusing on the things that matter and really nailing them, I think would be something that I wish someone had said to me at a younger age.
Absolutely. Things that matter most should never be at the mercy of things that matter least. And I think that's an amazing lesson you give yourself. And I think that's fantastic. Thanks so much there, Michael. And thanks so much for coming on the show today. It's absolutely been amazing, my friend.
No, amazing. I really, really appreciate the opportunity to have a chat, Cullen. It's always a delight to catch up.
Absolutely, everyone. Have a great Wednesday. All the best, everyone. And take care. Make it count. Hey there, Cullen Haynes here, Australia's leading broker for lawyers on LinkedIn, and here's why I want to talk to you today about my book, my new book, The Laws of LinkedIn, 23 ways to find your tribe, build your following, and make 7 figures on LinkedIn. When I started this journey 7 years ago, when we built, myself and Andrew, my business partner, we built Legal Home Loans from the ground up, the pain point for us was we were at a standing start. No one knew who we were. We had no money, we had no contacts, and basically we had to find a way to make our voice heard, talk to our tribe, the legal community, and build trust. And the only thing we had at our disposal was LinkedIn, which was and still is free. There's over 1 billion people on LinkedIn, and I wish when I started I had this book with me to guide me, because I basically distilled my 23 top leading hacks that we use to build our business to a 7+ figure, and I really want to get it out there and share it with you. So if you're